So you finally decided to try your hand in airbrushing your model kits. And now you are looking for a decent airbrush that can serve you from your project start to finish. Welcome to gengimplanet, and today we will talk about a generic airbrush that might just be what you need and even more. So when you search online for an airbrush, you will usually end up with something like this. This is what most will call the generic or budget airbrush. This model is what you will usually see bundled up with different types of compressors, which is another topic in itself. This particular type of generic airbrush usually carries the model number of 130, and you will see this posted with various prefixes like BR, BT, BZ, AB, etc. depending on the manufacturer or the seller that rebrands it. It will come in different finishes. Most will come like this two-tone chrome and black colors. It might come in full metal finish, and sometimes it will come like this in this color anodized finish. Whatever color it might come in, it will usually come with a screw-on 0.3mm nozzle, double action trigger action, and with a decent sized paint cup. Also, it will cost between 10 to 20 US dollars, which makes it the generic budget airbrush for beginners. But there is actually a better option for beginners and even experienced airbrushers. This is the BR183 airbrush. This one here I got from a local shop here in the Philippines named Hobbiworkz, and so branded as such. But if you search in Google the keyword airbrush 183, you should be able to find a seller that might be near your location. So for now, let's call this the 183. The 183 usually comes in a set like this, with the airbrush itself with a finish that is significantly better than the model 130, having a two-tone chromed and sand-blasted finish, having a needle limiter, and a notched opening so you can loosen or tighten the needle chuck without removing the entire back part of the airbrush. It has a typical airbrush body, but with a removable paint cup and with solvent-resistant gaskets. It also usually comes with a 1/8 threading, so you should not have any problems with connecting this to most hoses and compressors out there. It also comes with a small wrench for removing the nozzle assembly for maintenance. The set includes 3 removable paint cups, a large cup, medium cup, and a small capless cup that you might want to use depending on the painting session you are aiming for. But the main highlight, and actually the main advantage of the 183, is its nozzle. Using the included wrench or spanner, you can easily unscrew the nozzle head. This will reveal the nozzle itself, and as you can see, it is unlike the other cheaper generic airbrushes out there that use those tiny screw-on nozzle tips that can break so easily if you are not careful. The 183 uses by default a 0.5mm self-centering nozzle, which you only have to place back on and screw the nozzle head, and it will center itself back. While a 0.3mm nozzle is considered to be the all-around nozzle size, especially great for beginners, I believe a 0.5mm nozzle is a much more forgiving nozzle for anyone, for any level of users. Using a 0.5 nozzle, you can spray with slightly lower air pressure, you can spray with more coverage, and will have a longer time before it experiences tip dry. Another good thing is that with the 0.5mm nozzle, you can easily use it for primers, metallic paints, and even for just basic paint, and easily cover your model without adding too much thinner. Even with this wide nozzle, you will still be able to do some highlighting or pre-shading for basic to intermediate painting. Also, With the self-centering nozzle, it is easier to clean and maintain in the long run, and unlike the 130 model, you won't have to worry about breaking this nozzle if you screw this on too tight because you don't have to screw it on at all. This nozzle type is very much like those you will find in some Badger airbrush models out there. Like my Badger Extreme Patriot 105, it also has that self-centering nozzle. With this type of nozzle, you can purchase other nozzle sizes and other needle nozzle sets for the 183, so you can also spray in 0.3 or even 0.8mm nozzle sizes, and it will be very easy to swap nozzle and needles with this system. Now that we have laid out how this airbrush works, how much does a 183 set cost? Depending on where you are, the 183 will range from $35 to $40. Said price range will usually include the airbrush body with a 0.5mm nozzle, a mini wrench or spanner, and the 3 paint cups. Not a bad price for something that might serve as your workhorse airbrush for a long time. I have been using the 183 for a few years now, so let me summarize the pros and cons of the 183 through my experience. Pros: it is relatively cheap at only $40 maximum price. It is beginner friendly and beginner proof, as you won't accidentally break the nozzle during cleanup. It has relatively better build quality, especially compared to other generic airbrushes like the 130. It is easier to maintain with that self-centering nozzle. It is also versatile and has good overall spraying performance. I actually never had an experience of having tip dry even when using those portable compressors that generate very low compression air pressure. Cons: availability can vary, but you can check out the likes of AliExpress, eBay, or Amazon. And lastly, the quality might vary since this is basically an OEM airbrush. Overall, for me, the pros outweigh the cons by a ton, and I would recommend this to builders of any level, as this can actually be your sole airbrush or your main airbrush to handle those unforgiving types of paints and solvents, and this will serve for years to come. Finally, this airbrush with its build will let beginners have a better experience in airbrushing, helping them learn faster, gain more confidence in airbrushing, and lessen frustrations in using an airbrush for the first time. With a 183, you will only have to worry about which air compressor you should get. So what do you think of the 183? Also, what is your favorite all-around airbrush? Leave a comment and like the video if you found this useful, and also consider subscribing to the gengimplanet channel to stay up to date to more videos like this. See you again in the next videos. For now, stay safe by building lots and enjoy. Until next time, goodbye.